Awabanga, everybody. Welcome to our live stream today. This is a live with Red Dot Diva special. And we are going to talk about a movie that was just released last Thursday locally on the theaters. It's called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem. And it's an animated movie and it's out right now in all the theaters. And I have special guests today who will be doing the movie review with me. Now, for those who are not familiar with me, I'm Red Dot Diva. I'm a lifestyle and pop culture blogger based in Singapore. I've been doing this about 13 years, writing and blogging about my geeky adventures, like going to Comic Cons and having interviews with some of the local creatives, as well as whoever. I'm no those like I'm given opportunities to interview some celebs in the past as well, and this live stream started in during the pandemic when I was watching a lot of YouTube videos, and I discovered that it was a lot of Western based podcasts and videos on geeky stuff. And when there were interviews or discussions about Asian creatives, they were mostly based in China or Taiwan, the East Asian, Japanese, and the thing that's popular right now is the Korean K-pop and K-dramas. So right now, then after that, I found out that I was very peeved about that because I felt that the people who are in Southeast Asia are being neglected. And I know a lot of talented creators and artists and writers who are based here, but did not have the opportunity to reach out to the audience all over the world, right? So I decided to start this live stream, and it has been going on from 2020 till now. Yes, it was actually monthly, but I've kind of scaled back to about once in 2 months right now, and added on these special live streams where we do movie reviews as well for fun. So in these live streams, I try to feature Southeast Asian writers, creators, cosplayers, anybody who has a creative endeavor. And we did one on toy collecting as well. And on Halloween, I try to get some people who do horror themed stuff on board. And this has been such an interesting journey. And today, we'll add on one more to the playlist that I have is a movie review of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem, and my first guest is Marcus, and I'm gonna bring him on screen right now. Hello, Marcus. How are you today?
Hi, Tina. Hello. Good. I've eaten dinner. Have you eaten dinner?
Yeah, we don't need to ask you eat dinner.
It's a very Asian thing to ask.
The Asian love language. Would you give a short intro of yourself to the people out there who will be watching this live stream?
Okay. Hi. So I'm Marcus. I'm a scriptwriter and also an entertainment journalist. I write mainly for Yahoo. I'm more known for collecting Transformers, but I also like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So my favorite version is the 2012 version of the Turtles. So I have them here with me. Yeah, I bought the Mutant Mayhem Turtles online, but they haven't come yet. Yeah, but
Hmm.
yeah, so I didn't want to buy it, but after watching the movie, yeah, I went and bought them. Yeah, I went to click buy.
And we have Jet joining us as well, my geek bro, who also does movie reviews with me from time to time. And he says, "Hello, Marcus."
Hi,
Hello,
Jet.
Jet.
Thanks for watching.
And also now we'll be introducing Leo. Leo is new to live with Red Dot Diva, and hopefully he'll be joining us next time as well. Hi, Leo. Please, could you introduce yourself? I think you're still on mute.
Yep. Hello,
Yep.
everyone. Hi, Marcus. Hi, Tina. And Jet in the chat.
Yeah.
Okay, my name is Leo. I'm also known as the Geek Economist on Facebook. So I do, I'm more of like similar to Tina, I'm also a geek movie pop culture reviewer. So my claim to fame, my connection with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is I used to watch them, the OG cartoon show every Saturday or Sunday morning. Yeah, so that they air on Channel 5, and they used to call it Octo Kids. Yeah.
Oh
Octo
yes, yeah. The old kids channel on
Yeah, so
Mediacorp.
in Singapore they didn't air the entire series. So when I was
Mm.
older and had access to YouTube, like I hunted down the rest of the episodes and finished watching it. And also I played the games on the Nintendo system, the 8-bit one. Yeah,
The very difficult one
Wow.
is it? The
very
first one.
difficult. There was the underwater stage where you to disarm the bombs.
Yeah,
And
and then the
yes,
electricity
yeah.
you swim through, right?
So yeah, I managed to with a bit of like more luck than skill. I managed to clear that stage the first time. Yeah.
Whoa.
I didn't beat the game in the first time, but I went back. I downloaded an emulator, and so I made my way slowly to finish the game. But it was a very fun game, and always when I think of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, like that, the in-game music, I will start playing in my head.
Yes.
It had a very retro and very cool soundtrack.
And Jet says how how nice to have a Leo in a TMNT movie review because
So my name is Leo, but my favorite Ninja Turtle is actually Donatello from the color that I'm wearing.
Oh, Donatello. Okay.
Yes, Donatello is the best, one of the best in-game characters because his stick has a very long reach and his damage is very high.
Mm.
Yeah, it's the highest, right? I think the
Yes.
very first boss you can just jump on the crate and then just step down.
Yep,
Then you
yep,
right?
yep.
Right? Yeah.
Nice.
There's
All
a
right. So before we get into it, I have assigned Marcus to give us a spoiler-free movie review of Mutant Mayhem.
Okay.
Let's go,
So
Marcus.
yes, so Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem. So it's a 3D animated film by Seth Rogen. So it's a reimagining of Ninja Turtles. So it's a new origin story for them. So as the title implies, it's full of mutants. So that's who the Ninja Turtles are fighting. So it's quite interesting because you don't see Shredder tied to the origin of the Turtles in this version. So some things have been changed because traditionally Splinter is quite connected with Shredder in the previous versions. But I think it's quite nice because it focuses on the teenage aspect of them, about them growing up, about them finding their place in the world, which I think is very relatable both to adults and children, and adults who are still children like me.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, hold on now. I'm a bit disconnected at this moment.
So anyway, it's
Click
out in
onto
cinemas
something.
now. Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was quite excited to watch it.
Okay, hold on, guys. I am a bit slow at this moment because I'm trying to upload something. Hang on for a while. This is my fault.
Okay. So I'll continue talking. So if you
Yes,
don't know who
please.
those are, there's Leonardo, who is blue. No, he's not blue. Sorry, he's green. But he wears blue, and he's the leader of the Turtles. And
Yes.
he's also here with us today as one of our guests.
All right.
Uh,
So, as long-time fans, right, of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and you played games and you watched some of the movies, what were the expectations when you went to go and watch Mutant Mayhem? Like, what what did you think? Did you really even want to go and watch it? Maybe
Yeah,
Leo?
so I was definitely very excited because the Michael Bay Turtles live action movies were okay, but didn't really make me feel excited. It's like something was missing in the live action movies directed by Michael Bay. Yeah, they focused more on the human characters. Like I remember in the second movie, the guy who played Green Arrow, the Stephen Amell, he was Casey
Yeah,
Jones.
yeah, correct.
Yeah, and like
Yes.
the movie had a lot of Casey Jones. Like
Because he was
almost
hot
like
as Green
the
Arrow at that
central-
time, right? Milking for all his worth, milking.
Then
Wait, yeah.
also and also focused on Megan Fox. So it's like it felt like another Transformers movie.
Yes.
It's Michael
Without
Bay. Yeah. What about you, Marcus?
Okay, so I wasn't a fan of the art style at first. From the trailers.
Okay.
Because it looked like it would be a little bit overdone. Yeah, I wasn't really a fan of the art style that I saw lah. It felt like it was. I know it's a mix of. They're trying to emulate a slightly 2D comic style with 3D
Mm,
animation.
mm,
But I have not liked other films which try to adapt a comic style to 3D animation. So I wasn't. I was a bit afraid that I wouldn't be able to take the art style.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mm,
But it turned out very well. It
mm,
was very well done. It wasn't as in your face as I had thought it would be.
mm,
I think all the 2D, the splashes, the explosions, the swaths of paint, all that was used sparingly and used for like pivotal moments like explosions or movement effects.
mm.
So it was tolerable. Just that in the because it's all movement, it's all explosion, so you see that all over the place. Then I was a bit like it was really good. I really like how it was used, how it was done.
Yeah. So I guess we cannot judge entirely by a trailer alone, basically.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry, I'm very
As
skeptical. I
for
didn't have
me, I actually, to confess, I'm not a really huge TMNT fan. I'm just a generalist pop culture fan. So, I'm just going in like, oh, another movie, and, whether should I go watch it? Because there have been so many movies coming out, and it's like the summertime kind of like, there was so many movies on the plate for the last 2 months. And then when I saw the trailer, and I was actually like opposite from Marcus, I was actually attracted to the animation style. I was attracted to the animation style, and I found that it was very colorful, which was a big contrast to of course, it's an entirely different thing. And the Michael Bay movies were a disappointment, and I found they were so meh. And I was not even interested in following through the sequel. I didn't watch the sequel. And I thought that, okay, it was very exuberant as well from the trailer. And that was a plus and minus point to me, because plus point is that it felt very fresh from the trailer. You could already sense it. But the minus point is like, would it be too Gen Z for me? You're getting old, would it be too Gen Z for me? And then all this lingo and all that, the kind of thing, right? Like, would it roll for me? I mean, I wouldn't know, right? So it's like, do I want to spend the time? But that uh I thought, okay, why not? Because the animation style really drew me. And I heard, of course, Marcus went to watch the premiere, which I couldn't attend with him, and he said that it was pretty good. So it's like, let's go. Let's go. And from your
Yeah,
expectation, I guess both of you enjoyed the movie a lot.
yeah. So like the art style reminded me a bit of the Spider-Man across the Spider-Verse and across the
Yes.
multiverse
Yeah.
into the multiverse. Yeah. So it was like less polished than the Spider-Man animated
Yeah.
films,
Correct.
but it was still it captured that kind of whimsy and like you said of being teenagers. So I think it
Yeah.
kind of fit the theme as well. Surprisingly, yeah. So it was quite a nice surprise for me. And when I watched the trailer, I picked up on some familiar voices. So I was like, wow, very excited to watch like how they would animate the character based on the voice actor. And there were some interesting things that we'll cover in the
Yeah.
spoiler section.
Yeah, I think Marcus, you're saying that because you, in the first place, Splinter wasn't very featured very much in the trailer as well, right? So you were kind of disappointed.
Yeah, but yeah, I like how okay, so Splinter is voiced by Jackie Chan, and they really make use of
Yes.
his style. I think
Yeah.
they really to him to his strengths. Yeah. So is it spoiler if I say that Splinter is fighting?
Kind of, right?
Yes, that's kind of spoiler.
Okay, wait.
It is
For
spoiler.
everyone, this first half is spoiler free. We're trying not to say too much spoilers for the first half, and once you reach the second half, be prepared, because we're gonna talk a lot about other things. So be prepared.
I think one thing I can say that is not spoilery. One thing I can say that's not spoilery is like the Jackie Chan being a master to young disciples is very similar to the
Yeah.
Karate Kid remake that Jackie Chan was in with
Oh.
Jaden
But
Smith.
usually, right? I mean,
Yeah,
in the
it
past,
reminded me of that.
yeah, in the past, I wasn't a big fan of like Jackie Chan's voiceovers, but for this movie in particular, right, it really suited his his way of speaking
Yeah,
English.
agree.
Yeah.
I think they really did that very well in the script as well. You know, they allowed him to that show through, and it became like who is Jackie Chan, and who is Splinter. It became a bit blurred at some point or other.
That's true.
Yeah, they let him do his own voicing
Yeah,
for it.
yeah.
I think, and then they animated the sing the lips to I mean to what he's saying. I think that really worked. Yeah,
Yeah, that really
especially
worked.
the reactions, the
Yeah,
face.
yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
at some point you're wondering, did they really design Splinter based on Jackie Chan?
No,
Yeah,
I think
expression.
for some animation movie, right, when the voice actors actually record in the studio, they capture the video as well. So when the animators watch it, I think they do mimic at some point
Hmm.
how the actual actors facial expressions are when they speak the
Yeah,
lines. Yeah.
yeah. Because usually they have the script, but because he misses some words or he adds some
Yeah.
words. So I was quite impressed that it followed quite smoothly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the expressions, the expressiveness really helps. It really, like you can imagine him wearing a red costume.
Yeah. And it was quite funny, right? It was quite
That's
funny.
so funny, so funny.
The animation style, the sketchy type of like rough, unfinished style of work, I guess, yeah, it fits the teenage theme very well. You know, when teenagers like to draw on their journals or doodles on the edges of their textbook, and that kind of thing. So when it comes together, and also the story is about them being actual teenage, right? Not like jacked up jocks or something from the Michael Bay movies, and not so kiddie like the Nickelodeon characters, in the cartoons. Like they're really like teenage level. The whole aesthetic suits the script very well. I was quite impressed at that how they put it all together.
Yeah, they're better, how they irritate each other, how they annoy each
Yeah,
other.
yeah. Like more brotherly.
It's really like how teenagers, how like
Correct. Yeah,
right,
what
right.
teenage boys will do.
Yeah. So what I read was Seth Rogen actually just let the cameras roll when the four teenage boys were doing the voiceovers. So he just captured like B-roll or B-roll voice of them, like just like being natural teenagers. So that's why it added that level of authenticity.
Nice. Yeah.
Hmm. So
Yeah,
Seth
the
Rogen,
voice.
credit to Seth Rogen. Credit to
Yeah.
Seth Rogen. He really did a good job, I think.
Yeah. I think the actors like take it where it should, especially since it's an animated film, so it's a lot of work beforehand. Yeah, to the
Mm,
bot.
yeah, I like it was very dynamic, in the sense. So that was what I didn't expect though when I went to watch the movie. I thought it was like going to be just some like normal animation, that kind of thing. But it turned out to be very dynamic, kind of like kinetic kind of voice acting together with the animation, which if they don't reach that kind of level, right, the animation is just like manga kind of anime, you see the type, uh, the normal kind of animation that you get, which is not very entertaining after a while. But like cartoon, or you become like cartoon. It's not like an experience. Um, I also found that I think it's nice that um, people try to bridge the gap between these franchises that are like in the 80s and 90s, right, and bring it to the new generation. You know, um, the Gen Zs and the younger ones, even the kids, right, who are not familiar with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles at all. So my experience was when I went to watch the movie, yesterday morning, and it was a quiet morning, but there were some parents, I guess, with their children. So I overheard a guy,
They didn't vote. Then they go
huh?
watch movie. Those
Yeah,
parents didn't vote.
I guess they may be foreigners, you know. Yeah.
Okay.
So this guy brought two kids with him. I'm not sure whether both are his sons or whether adopted or not, because they were all different races, or maybe the son's best friend or whatever. So he brought these two kids to watch Mutant Mayhem. And then he was saying, like, he's an older guy, of course, and he knows TMNT. So he just did a brief introduction of TMNT, and then the movie start, right, and they were so like, there was no sound from them, like quiet, enjoying a movie. And then after, when the movie ended, I bumped into them in the elevator going down as well. And the same guy with the two kids. And then he's like, did you like the movie? And then the two boys says like, yeah, they liked it a lot. And then the funny thing was, he said, this is the first time I brought you to a movie and you didn't ask to go to the toilet. I think that's good.
Wow. Amazing.
Right?
That's a good endorsement for
Yeah, that's a good indicator of how much the kids love it.
So they watched the whole movie, including the post-credit scene.
Yeah. Because I bumped into them. Yeah.
Well, that is impressive. Yeah, because the whole runtime.
Yeah, that's impressive. Well, the runtime is about 100 minutes. So, for them to really, I think they probably got so into the story as well. It captured their imagination, and yeah, it was amazing. I like to see young children being inspired by all these type of things. Because, as you get to be an adult, you get a bit more jaded, like more trouble, world trouble, world weary. But then you see kids like, they're seeing these turtles for their first time probably, and they're so caught up with that.
Yeah,
Then
so,
it
so what,
makes you feel younger also. Yes, Marcus.
one of the things I really like is, okay, so they're teenagers, so obviously they're playing with their phones. Then
Yeah.
the earlier scene where they're all going to sleep after like some disaster happens, then they're all still playing with their phones, and it's the last thing they look at, before they sleep.
Yeah.
I think it's Michaelangelo, although the camera angle is such that you can't see that he's playing with his phone, but you can see his face is lit up by the phone screen.
Yeah.
And I thought it was a very nice touch, to show that all of them, they're still teenagers at heart. They're still very distracted by modern devices.
Yeah. This very teenager thing, and also I love the soundtrack. I love the soundtrack. It was like a mix of 80s, 90s.
It's very
rap
90s.
with the new ones, And I wasn't expecting the soundtrack at all, because I went in this movie like, I would just go and enjoy myself. So when like No Diggity came down from during the scene of the gangster scooter rescue fight scene, right? Then I was like, oh, the soundtrack is really good.
So it's by Trent Reznor from
yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know it was by him because I was a huge Nine Inch Nails fan last time. Yeah, yeah, I know I don't look it. Yeah, so at the end, at the credits, when I saw it was by Trent Reznor, and sorry, I forgot who's the other guy.
Ross.
Yeah, I was like very excited. It's like all my favorite like things from the 80s, 90s, 2000s coming together.
Yeah, right. So even though it was for the Gen Z, right, those people who like you and me and the older ones who knew TMNT mostly from the 80s and 90s, have something to hold on to as well.
Yeah. So for me, it was like I noticed there were a lot of Easter eggs. Like
we shall talk about the Easter eggs later.
And it's like even those in my cinema that didn't understand all these callbacks and references, they still were entertained by other things as well. So like things that they didn't catch, it was okay. It didn't affect them. It just gave some entertainment for those who did notice it. Yeah. Then there were other things that also like I didn't quite understand, like the lingo. Like sometimes when the turtles were like talking to each other and like having these like Gen Z references. I was like,
Yeah,
which
yeah,
one
yeah,
did I get? But then those younger kids got it and they were laughing and they were so entertained by that.
yeah.
So it's like it has everything, a bit of everything for everyone.
Yeah. And I thought the villains was pretty good. Like I always judge a good superhero movie by its villains.
Even like Superfly, the main villain. Yeah, I didn't realize it was a joke until they said it out loud. You know, like when you said something, I was like, oh, that is quite an intelligent way of like
It's a nice pun. It's a pun.
nice fun. And it makes sense. It makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't very happy when I first saw Superfly. Yeah, for reasons which I would say in the second half of the film.
Yep.
But yeah, I was like, okay, yeah, it makes sense in the context of the movie.
Yeah, and the character designs were really brilliant. I thought, you know, especially for the villains, they were really designed really nicely. Uh, I like the gecko, Mondo Gecko.
Mondo Gecko. Do you know who
I
voices
know
Mondo
that
Gecko?
Paul Rudd.
That's the Ant-Man. The Ant-Man is a gecko.
They were a fun bunch to look at, the villains, and even though there was a short time, that they did feature each of them with their own idiosyncrasies, and that was quite fun to watch. Because if the villains fail, right, then the whole movie just it kind of falls flat, lah. I judge movies by the villains.
True.
The heroes don't get to shine if the villains are
yeah.
So the designs I saw only stills and the trailer, and so most of the villain designs I saw from the toys. The toys didn't because that's what I look for first.
Yes, Marcus, the toy collector.
So from the toy designs, I wasn't very confident of the villains how they look in the movie, but it turned out very well. Yeah, especially their movements, then the camera angles showing their size relative to the turtles.
Yes.
I think all of that worked very well and made the villains very entertaining to watch.
Yeah, they were super entertaining. I think the movie became even more entertaining when the turtles met them, actually, because in the first part it was a bit slow, even for animated.
Everybody
A bit of build up, and all the exposition.
My favorite cameo among the other group of mutants was Ray Fillet. Every time he introduced himself, he was saying his name, and it was so funny. And it's actually Post Malone. Post Malone, the pop singer, and he's actually a very big Magic the Gathering player as well.
Okay.
So like every time he sang his name, Ray Fillet, it's like Superfly to shut up because he's so irritating. The joke was really good.
Okay, now we have spoken a lot about what we like about a movie. I think to be fair and balanced, right, we have to at least, tell each other or share with the people watching what we probably did not like about the movie so much. Leo, anything?
Did not like. I did not like that it was too short. I could watch another half an hour easily.
But the kids cannot take it, I need to go toilet.
But yeah, it was like it could have gone on half an hour longer, and I wouldn't have minded.
Marcus?
So, but yeah, it was very well paced. Yeah, if it was maybe 2 hours, yeah, why not? I don't mind if the sequel is 2 hours. Bring on 2 hours sequel.
Marcus?
The third act was a little bit draggy for me lah. Like they're going to fight, and it was a little bit drawn out for me. So I thought that one could have been pacier in terms of what they do, because even though they're fighting, there's a lot of time spent talking. And also understand why it had to be the way it was, because they had to give like every character their moment to shine.
Correct.
But the third act was a little bit the pace could have been a bit better, especially since it's the third act and it's all the fighting.
Yeah.
I also didn't like Splinter's origin story as much. Now that it doesn't have the Shredder connection so much.
Yeah. For me, it was the okay. I think I should confess that why I didn't really want to go and watch the movie in the first place. So I was not a big fan of Seth Rogen's stuff. Okay, so when his name was attached to it, I was like, hey, should I not? So yeah, I mean, it was a good thing that the script was not just written by him alone. You know, it was by three people. The director,
5 actually. The
yeah,
screenplay was done by 5
Jeff
people.
Rowe, Seth Rogen, Evan Goldberg, Dan Hernandez, and Benji Samit. So the directors also was involved. So it wasn't so bad. But you knew which parts were his kind of, stuff. And when it came to the repetition of a certain particular joke, right? You got just like, oh, please, not again. the kind of feeling.
I think I know what you're talking about. By
yeah, right. I know.
Yeah.
I was like, this is a bit too much. Can we just get over that? And then, of course, it was trained for the, right for the Gen Z audience, very Americanized. But then also it brings me question as to the lingo of Gen Z people. Do they try so hard to use African American vernacular as Gen Z lingo? Does it equate to each other? You get what I mean? So like even in Singapore, I feel that they are kind of adopting a lot of the African American vernacular and then becomes Gen Z. But
my theory is that everyone has been teenagers and everyone as teenagers wants to fit in. So this is not a new problem or a new phenomenon. Like in the past when we were teenagers, we used to have our own lingo.
Yeah, it's true lah. But this becoming like a lot of this it's a bit much lah. I should say it's a bit much.
But
it's okay for the Americans because this part of their culture. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure whether the kids here actually, they might look at it visually lah, but they might not get all the slangs. Yeah.
Which part are you referring to? Like the African American lingo?
Even the turtles also use that one. They also assume a lot of the lingo, right? The villains, of course, is natural to them because Superfly is kind of like a African American based, but the turtles,
they talk to each other,
they talk to each other with all the slangs and all that, the street ghetto kind of slangs. Then I feel that the turtles were so charming. Okay, it was so charming that you kind of forgot, right, or kind of didn't realize that they didn't really focus on their own characters, like each individual characters only touch like kind of like that Leo is the leader, that kind of thing. Then they did touch a little bit about maybe Ralph's rage, but I would really like to see them actually form more fuller personalities rather than them doing things on screen and speaking a lot. I feel that with that maybe you feel a bit more for the turtles rather than just like a bunch of teenagers trying to rebel against their father, that kind of thing. That's just but there's small gripes lah, I should say, just very small observations that I have that could have made the movie a little bit richer. I should say richer. Not that it's bad, but just more fuller.
Maybe it does suffer a bit from having too many characters. Then, like to try to fit in too many characters and have each one be developed. So maybe they cut down like maybe 2 or 3 characters less. It could have been like more attention could have been focused on the turtles already.
It's called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, right? You get what I mean?
Mutant Mayhem. So you need mutants to create mayhem.
Yeah. All right, we have actually surpassed by 5 minutes on the half an hour point of this live stream. So
Okay.
for those who are still keen on not being spoiled, you can leave the live stream at this moment and come back later when you have watched the movie. Or if you don't mind being spoiled, we are going to talk a lot about Easter eggs and the post-credit scenes and whatever else we will get into that are not featured in the trailers that you saw. All right, the first thing we want to talk about is like the many Easter eggs that were peppered all along the movie. And Leo, you mentioned about that just now. So tell us like maybe one or two that of your favorite cameo or Easter
Okay.
eggs that you saw in the movie.
So first, shout out to Jennifer in the chat. Thanks, Jen. Okay, so the first Easter egg and the spoiler is actually in the mid-credit scenes where they actually showed dun 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 the shredder. Yeah, so the shredder will definitely be featured in the sequel. Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry to everybody
And
who was saying there's no shredder. Yeah.
But it's
yeah,
just for a few seconds.
but it was so obvious, and it was the iconic shredder with all the blades
Yeah,
on
yeah,
the
yeah.
shoulder pads and
Yes.
the arms and the helmet as well.
Yeah.
So then the other one was, I think they didn't explicitly say or show Krang, but I think the main villain in this movie, her
Yes.
glasses were like the Krang robot.
Yeah.
The
The Utrom, is it?
rectangular glasses.
Yeah. Okay. So
I-
Cynthia Utrom, right?
Yeah, Cynthia Utrom.
yes.
Okay.
Hmm.
So in the comics and in every other series besides the 90s series.
Yeah.
So the Krang and the Utrom are related
Correct.
species. Yeah.
Yeah.
So when Cynthia Utrom appeared, I was very excited. I was hoping like burst out of her stomach, then Krang. I mean, I think that will take away from the whole movie lah. So it didn't happen. But yeah, Krang is effectively in there as Cynthia.
So
Then,
maybe there's a sequel, hopefully.
Yeah. She also appears in the 2012 series, and I think in the comics also. This Cynthia Woodfrom design. Yeah. So Krang is inside. I was very excited. Yeah.
Yeah, and for those who haven't watched the movie yet and are still hanging on, even though you want to be spoiled, there is one mid-credit scenes and then no final post-credit scene, but the mid-credit scene is the one that Leo has mentioned where Shredder is hinted to be appearing. Hopefully there's a sequel.
Yeah, and the thing I noticed about my favorite turtle, Donatello, his bow staff, he has stickers of like Japanese anime characters, and one of them was Satoru Gojo from Jujutsu Kaisen. And then he also he wears a jacket to pretend to be in high school. It is the logo of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
So he loves anime. The anime.
Yes, he's a super otaku.
That's why they mentioned Attack on Titan also.
Yes, Attack on Titan. Yeah. And that's how they defeated. Yeah, that's how they defeated Super Duper Fly. Yes, the neck. The Titan's weak spot is the neck. Yeah.
The series hasn't ended, right? Attack on Titan. It's
There's
still
one last episode. We are waiting for that last part. Animation and it takes a long time for them. So yeah, but I mean, for those who have already read the manga, they know what's happened. But I didn't read the manga, although I can guess what happened. But still, I do enjoy Attack on Titan, though. Yeah. Moving on from Attack on Titan.
So what I really was annoyed by. Okay, so the toys, right? There's a turtle van. Okay, then in the movie they're driving the van, right, with the last component.
Yes.
And then the door will also swing out like the turtle van. So I thought they would refurbish it into the turtle van halfway through the movie, but they didn't. So I was like, it's like I felt the way they kept using the van was like a lead in to them eventually turning it into the turtle van, and I felt maybe they have animated it, but they didn't have time to put it in. But yeah, I was like really waiting for the turtle van to appear, then to cheer, but it didn't appear.
Yeah, for me, I actually really enjoyed you mentioned just now Jackie Chan as Splinter, and
Yes.
Marcus kind of leaked a little bit about his fight scenes. And the most enjoyable part about Splinter's fight scene, because we thought that Splinter would be just a kind of like he won't be involved right in any of these fight scenes because he was pretty laid back in the sewer in the first half of the movie or so.
Yeah, and
But
he
yeah,
seemed like very fragile,
he
very
became like
fragile.
Yoda like that, came out on the fight scene.
Yeah, true.
And the most amusing part of that was that they were mirroring Jackie Chan's style of fight scenes, where Jackie Chan always used things around him to smash
Yeah.
people's heads, and
Yeah,
you know,
the,
and
he'll use the furniture around him
the
as
furniture around him,
weapons.
and then there was one point where Splinter was sitting on the chair, the rolling chair, to as you know hit
Yeah,
the villain. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
so totally Jackie Chan. I really enjoyed that sequence so much.
Then one of the things I noticed during Master Splinter went to search for YouTube for all the ninjutsu
Oh yes,
training
Yeah.
things. One of the videos was actually Jackie Chan. I spotted Jackie Chan in one of the
yes,
videos. Yeah,
Oh, okay,
they
okay.
flashed by very fast, but
yeah,
yeah, they
very
actually
fast.
featured Jackie Chan. I think it was one of his
The
70s,
younger ones,
80s.
yeah, the
Yeah,
young, the
the
early
very
early
young
one.
one, the very young Jackie Chan, where he still had those flowing
Yeah,
long,
so long hair.
like shoulder.
Oh, I think I missed that. Okay, okay.
Yeah, you got it's a good
Those are very
reason to
fast.
watch it again.
Yes, yes. Then
And
so there's one more reference. So at the end, I think the newscaster calls them Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles.
mm,
So
Yes.
in Europe, you know, they can't use the word ninja because it's very violent and
oh, okay.
Call it
No, I
Teenage
didn't know
Mutant Hero
that. Yeah.
Turtles. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
I think it's in Europe. Yeah. So I was like, because they
and
only say
UK,
UK, right?
it was banned in like they because the 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 politicians at that time they associated ninja with like very violent and very
Mm,
like bloody kind of like
mm,
not PG for kids.
mm.
So they censored Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles into Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles in the
Yes.
UK.
Yeah. So when because they only just said it lah, so it's just audio. But I was quite impressed they managed to sneak that in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nice. I do like that they gave tribute to the two creators of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles though.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Eastman High, which is the high school that the kids are going to. And then when they was discussing with
On the rooftop.
April,
On the
on the
rooftop.
rooftop, how to take down Superfly, and was called Lab Building. So that was a
Yes.
good nod to the two creators. It seems like Kevin Eastman
Eastman
had a voice cameo, wasn't it?
Yes, he had a voice cameo.
Yeah.
He was the good human that sort of reached out to help.
Splinter.
So at the end, right? Yeah.
Nice.
Towards the end.
Yeah, that's nice. And I just like all the pop culture references that they throw out, you know, like the best Chris.
Yes,
Yeah, Chris
The
Chris
cut
Pine, Chris Evans,
during the scene where Splinter was giving them a surprise party,
surprise party.
and there was a cutout of Chris Pine, and then say he's the best Chris. And then
Who was the
also
third Chris? Chris Evans, Chris Pine, and the
Hemsworth.
other one.
Chris
Chris Hemsworth. So two Marvel Chris's and one non-Marvel Chris.
Yeah, and how they also talk about Incredible Hulk, right? Because Incredible Hulk is green, so Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are green. And then they were like looking up to, you know, the character of the smart Hulk, and how Mark Ruffalo was be able, as smart Hulk was able to get more acceptance, right, from the general public, even though he was a Hulk and not like down to human size. So all the interesting pop culture references that was put out there that we kind of like enjoy, you know.
Oh, and one more I remember is in the very first fight scene in the garage where they were all very new to fighting.
Yes. Yes.
Donatello actually hit the car radio, and the car radio played "Go Ninja, Go Ninja, Go." It is the Vanilla Ice rap from the live action movie. So like the second movie, is called The Secret of the Ooze.
Yeah.
The live action one. So it was Vanilla Ice just rapping 3 words over and over again. Go ninja, go ninja. 3 words. Go ninja, go ninja, go ninja, go. Yeah. So he played Go Ninja for a very short while when he hit the car radio in the garage.
Now, I was talking about a soundtrack that I love so much, right? Okay, that I was surprised with like No Diggity being on that same scene that you're talking about. And then later on when they were fighting the kaiju version of Superfly, and then Four Non Blondes song came on.
Oh yeah.
Four Non Blondes, Hey Yeah came on, right? Yeah. And then after that, What's Up? The title is What's Up. And then it seeks on to the meme of that song.
Yeah, so the first version was the Four Non-Blondes original version.
The original
The second
one.
one was the He-Man meme version.
The He-Man meme version, right? And the clincher is this because the toy designer Mark Taylor, who does Teenage Mutant Ninja toys in the 80s, was also very well known for doing He-Man toys.
Okay.
So probably that's what the connection is as well, you know. But yeah, it was just like so many of these fun little things that popped out. I don't know whether you heard do you read about like the controversy about Splinter's this is spoiler. Splinter's romance with Scumbag.
No.
Yeah, I thought that was very weird actually. Like it felt a bit shoehorned. Yeah, how come suddenly a rat and a cockroach get together? And I was like, that one was a bit weird. Yeah.
So I think there was a leak on that. And then they always thought that, I mean, some of these geeks they felt that Scumbag was actually a guy. So they were saying that now did they even go totally very woke and make Splinter gay? And then there was this huge controversy about this thing. And then Jeff Rowe got to come out and say that no, they actually and the marketing also because I think during one of the marketing banners or PR stuff, he was misgendered as a he. Scumbag. So that's why aroused all these reactions. I read on this and was like, what, you know? And then Jeff Rowe said that it was a PR mistake and Scumbag was actually
female.
Designed to be a female cockroach.
No, I didn't hear about that controversy, but yeah, it just felt like, I mean, it was supposed to be a joke that Splinter, a rat that fell in love with a cockroach, but to me it was like, yeah, that was one of the weird parts as well.
Yeah, weird, right? Especially when he mentioned in his past that he even had his friend, the dead cockroach.
Yeah. One of his friends was a cockroach that got squished, right?
I thought that was nice foreshadowing because he sounded. I think he said that was his only friend or something like that.
Yeah. That's right.
But yeah, it was funny. I thought the whole entire movie was enjoyable because it was quite funny. They didn't try too hard to be funny. It was like naturally funny.
But you didn't like the milking joke.
No, what I was talking about during the not spoilers section was that I was not a big fan of the milking joke. I mean, once the first time when you mentioned it, right? And the second time probably okay, I got what they mean, right? They needed the blood of the turtles to create more mutants, whatever. Yeah, but after that, it just continues, and then after that is during the time when they were actually milk, kind of like the thing goes on as well, and it's like really those jokes that can die early lah. You don't need to continue so much.
But remember, a good joke will come in threes. You have to repeat it 3 times.
Yeah.
So the third time was the final payoff where they were actually milked. So I felt that was a very good joke. But I guess it has Seth Rogen's handprints all over it.
Yeah, it was so totally Seth Rogen. Yeah, I'm not a very big fan of that because it's like I don't like repetitive. gags, it just doesn't work for me. But I mean, it may work for some other people. But that's just my
my
personal.
friend, I thought it was hilarious. It was like, because at the beginning it's quite lame. Then like, suddenly it gets paid off. Yeah. But I like that at least they just show the tubes going into the shells
Yeah,
rather
yeah.
than into other parts. Yeah. I think
Fake
if it went,
nipples.
it will be a bit too much really. But
Yeah,
it just
yeah.
yeah. It just you can just see it's going to them, but I don't know where. I thought that was okay. Yeah. It probably somebody stopped him from going a bit too over and sticking it to the front, that kind of thing.
Yeah, because I think if you like show actual nipples, then you won't get a PG rating maybe.
Or even if you show it attached to the front of their chest, right, the shell, I think
Weird lah.
yeah, it will
It
also
just
yeah,
doesn't
it
work.
will just be too much already.
It's just
Yeah.
the character design and the whole entire scene also is just weird. Looks weird. All right. Jed has a question earlier during the live stream, and I'm going to flash it on here. You might cut off Leo slightly because I think his question is long. I'd love to ask Marcus to compare the appeal of TMNT and Transformers, not in terms of which is better, but how they're similar and different as 80s cartoon franchises that sold a lot of toys. That's a very good question.
Thank you for asking me not to judge which is better. Okay, so it's a fundamentally it's a boys franchise. It's a boys toy. I mean girls can play it, but I mean it's designed for boys. So I think it's very similar in that it has all the wish fulfillment fantasies of boys. Okay. So for Transformers, very obviously their vehicles, their machines, they're powerful.
Yeah.
They can shoot laser guns at each other. And the reason why they can shoot laser guns at each other is because they're not human. Because last time censorship laws, I think they cannot show a human being shot. One human shoot. They also cannot show too much violence, like one human punching another too viciously. But because Transformers, they're robots, they can be as violent and as they want. So it's got all the things that boys or maybe boys like me like laser guns, cars, robots, punches. Yeah. So Ninja Turtles, I think it's the same thing. They are ninjas. Okay. So everybody wants to be a ninja last time. They have sharp katana size. Okay, the bow, okay lah, but honestly, the bow is the only weapon that you can easily get. You take your the bamboo pole, to hang clothes
A
and then
broom.
Yeah.
Handle of a broom, yeah.
Yeah, or a broom handle. So it's got weapons. It's got anthropomorphized animals. So it's like Mickey Mouse or okay. So if you like Mickey Mouse or Donald Duck, you like humanoid animals. You will like Ninja Turtles because they're humanoid animals who fight other humanoid animals. It's like it's like combination of cute plus violent, which I think really appeals to that age group. Then I think the 80s Turtles, okay, the villains were very good. Okay, most importantly, this is my opportunity to showcase the Technodrome.
Wow.
This is like the Death Star on wheels, right? And it's like every like I don't know, but boys' fantasy, to have to drive a giant tank with laser gun
and a giant eyeball.
Yeah, and a giant eyeball with lasers at you. I mean, this is the dream. And the bad guys at a base like this. This is why the bad guys are like so popular. Yeah, last time.
Yeah, awesome.
So I think this is the wish fulfillment factor that really hits the what boys like.
I think most such franchises hit sweet spots on different target audiences lah. Right. Talking about boys though, we kind of like talk so much about the TMNT, right, and the villains, right, but we didn't talk about April.
Okay.
What do you think about this version of April?
Yeah, so in the 80s cartoon, she was actually much older than the Turtles. So April kind of became like what you call like the love, almost like a love interest. Yeah. So in this animated movie, they made it so that she was a teenager like
Yeah.
them as well. So
Right.
that was I felt it was a very smart move. And they didn't make her like, they actually made her like, it almost like a hero's journey to show like she overcame her fear of being live on camera.
Mm.
And so she transformed herself from being April O Puke to April O Hero.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
thought, yeah, that was quite good. And
I quite like her.
obviously they still made it they still had that love interest because like she is actually Leonardo's crush.
Yes, correct.
So
Yes.
I was like, yeah, and he was so awkward around her. It was so funny. Like, yeah.
Yeah. I did like her story as well. So it's nice to see like the coming of age stories. I mean, people can say it's kind of what do you call it? Uh there's too many of these stories going around that's similar, right? That's still stereotypical. But then again, right, it will hit different spots lah for different people going on their different journeys in life.
True.
And this is for the younger ones who are also being very awkward at the moment, and they're teenagers and they're crushes and they have hurdles to get through, but they have such big dreams, right? Because they're so young. And I really liked how April was able to like she knew what she wanted, but she had to get through this hurdle. And in this age, right, where it's not just about the younger people don't just face uncertainties or their own insecurities, right? You have social media as well on this aspect, and people who will share unpleasant things about you, in schools and from what they see, and it impacts them a lot. So that she was able to actually take it, even accept it, like take it first and then try to get through that. I think that shows a lot of courage, especially for women, where you're judged by all counts, by almost anything, the way you look, the way you talk, the way you dress. So even though it was about the turtles, I think she was a really great addition. And then she was also like kind of a voice of reason because the four of them were like not of the world up there.
Yeah.
And so naive, right?
And talking about like heavy issues, right? Like Master Splinter is actually a single father raising four kids.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, so it's sort of like it speaks of the difficulties of being a single parent, like
Mm-mm.
to be able to let go
Yeah,
and like not be so controlling.
yeah,
And so yeah, Splinter also had managed to have growth.
yeah,
Like he tried to give them what they thought they want, but then he realized that he actually had to fully let them go and be themselves. Yeah.
yeah.
So that was quite
I
that
thought
was
it was
quite
quite moving as well, right? That you see, I mean, as we grow up as well, we see in our parents, right, that they realize that they're actually quite lonely because we don't talk to them anymore, that kind of thing. And we go out, we pat paw, then they're not home for dinner, and then your poor parent is like at home, right? It's like, yeah, I kind of felt. I mean, I did have some empathy for him, lah.
Yeah, I like that they also kind of hinted that April had a single parent family because especially when she's commenting all parents are all the same,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
doesn't really say much. We don't see her parents. Also, probably no budget to animate the family. Lah. I like how it's hinted. And like you were saying, I think it's the part where Splinter is talking to Superfly. Then Superfly is saying,
Oh yeah, right.
control everything
Correct.
because in his own twisted way. I want to control everything because I love you all, and this is the way it has to be.
Yeah.
Okay, because I have control freak problems, lah.
Yeah.
Which my friends are getting me to not be so controlling.
Yeah.
So it was quite touching to see Splinter, seeing that part reflected in himself and making the very hard decision to let his voice go.
Yeah. I
So
actually, we on the surface is just an animated movie, but I guess as adults we actually tend to see some more themes that do mirror, like very meta, in the lives of what we experience as well. Yeah, so that's why I thought it was a good movie in many levels.
yeah.
Not like what some of the reviewers say, but
Oh, is it?
I disagree with them. I think it was mixed. I think some found it a bit too derivative, like, oh, another coming of age story, and they felt that it could have been more, like more, since I think one mentioned that since they were willing to take risks with the animation style, they could have taken more risks with the script overall arc as well. Um, Minorly agree, maybe yes, but I think in general it wasn't a bad movie experience in the theaters. I thought it was actually maybe B plus near to A for me. Yeah.
I like I like the way they reinterpreted it. Because okay, so at the end, the turtles they all take off their masks, and
Yeah.
it's a story about identity,
Mm,
not hiding who you
yeah.
are. And April goes, like you said, April goes through the same journey. She doesn't dare to go on camera, but
Yeah.
in the end, she shows the whole world who
Yeah.
she is. Vomits on camera again, but she's not afraid to show her real identity. So
Yeah.
I thought this was a nice because I don't think any other franchise has the turtles coming out and
Like unmasked, right? Yeah.
That's true.
Mm,
That's true.
and they do set it up
fine.
quite well at the beginning when they keep showing the turtles wearing normal human clothes, and also the designs are who is taller, who is shorter.
Yeah.
So when
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
take off their
Yeah.
masks, because traditionally that's how we can recognize them. Even without their masks, they are still recognizable. And I thought that was a very nice touch that they wanted
Yeah.
to show that the turtles are more than their colors. That
Mm.
even though their personalities, their characters not as fleshed out as
Yeah.
it could be lah. But
Yeah.
I think it was nice, yeah, that they
Yeah. I think
all
it was getting to that point. Lah. So hopefully the sequel will be somewhat more enhanced and richer if they have one. You know.
yeah. I
Uh,
hope that's
yeah.
yes, please
I, I
have one.
I really vibe with the total positive thing, you know, uh, that they actually, as you're saying, right, about belonging, about identity, and
Yeah.
letting go when there is a need to be, and the difference between what's too much and not enough, that kind of message that they are putting forth. And these are actually reaching out to younger kids as well. So I'm all for the positive part of this movie.
For them to be more authentic and to
Yeah,
be
yeah, yeah.
they
Correct.
are.
Yeah. All right. We have actually hit the 1 hour mark already. And just my last question, probably. Uh, are you guys looking to buy some more toys from this franchise? This particular movie, sorry, not this
I
franchise.
think
This
Marcus can go first.
Okay. So after that, so at first, right, when I was looking at the toys, but I wasn't really feeling it because I think I said the designs weren't great, and the turtles didn't have the feel. Yeah. Then after the movie, I dragged my friend to go to go and buy toys with me. But then yeah, the modern age, so I was just comparing prices. Is
Mm-mm.
cheaper to buy online, so I bought online. So it hasn't come yet, lah. Yeah. Sorry,
Mm-mm.
for your stores. Yeah, I didn't buy. So what I like, so for this tournament, I'm buying the turtles, yeah.
Yeah.
But the villains, there's a scaling issue. Where the
Oh.
villains are either smaller than or the same size as the turtle.
Mm.
So even Superfly, he's depicted as
Yeah, he's tall, right? Yeah,
twice
he's
the
big.
size of the rest. He's about the same size as the turtle, so I'm not getting the
Mm,
villain.
mm.
Although the villains are usually the ones I like from the franchise.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
The turtle van is not looks not bad, but I get the turtles first, then I decide. And the super play set is quite affordable. It's 120. Compared to previous super play sets, which are like 200, 300 plus.
Mm-mm.
And they're huge.
Yeah.
This one looks like it's a manageable size.
Okay.
The box. And yeah, I mean 120 is not cheap, but it's cheaper than previous releases.
So are you gonna
Uh,
get that as well?
do I receive another turtle? I also have nowhere to put it. But I'm very tempted simply because it's like relatively cheap, and you wait a while online, you can get you probably can get it cheaper.
Cheaper after a while. Yeah, yeah, yeah. True. Leo, any?
So the regular turtles, right? They also come with a tiny like their pre-mutant turtle thing.
Oh, so adorable.
Oh, so cute.
Right. That's why that's one of the reasons I bought it. I was like, oh, you can pretend they are mutating.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an adorable point. Yeah. Leo, any toy
For me,
collecting?
okay, so my display case is not as extensive as Marcus, as you can see in his background. So mine is just a very simple 4-tier shell, very limited, very small. It does it doesn't have a lot of space left, but I might get maybe just one figurine from this movie, or maybe a Funko Pop. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I
So
know the
actually,
Funko Pop were already out. I saw the designs. Yeah, they are
so
always
I
so early
I
with their stuff.
I actually like going to the movies and buying those like tumblers or toys that come with the
Yeah.
set. Yeah. So one of the toys I have is actually it's a turtle.
Oh,
It's a
okay.
turtle, but this is Crush from Finding Nemo. Yeah. So this was from way back in like the early 2000s. So it's actually in
Wow.
pretty good condition. It's
Oh.
a sort of like a purse. Right? It
Yo,
opens
so
up.
cute.
Yeah, so cute, and you can hang on your back.
Yeah, lor.
Yeah. So I like collecting all these like unique
Yeah,
movie
merchandise.
premiums.
Yeah,
Yeah,
merchandise. Like yeah.
and most of them come from like the better ones I found are from Golden Village. Yeah, Golden
Yes,
Village has
Another
very
village now has a lot
yeah
of
They
interesting.
they have
have
a very wide variety.
Ninja Turtle cup, I think.
Yeah,
For
I might
Golden
check it out. I might check it out as well. Yeah. So
Village
and
George.
because I lost all my toys from the 80s really, like because I moved house, and I think it was sort of like considered like too childish for me
Yeah, I
already.
know,
So
right? That
like they
happened to
were
me as well with a lot of
yeah.
my toys from previous, yeah.
So
Parents visiting and young.
yeah, unfortunately I don't have. I think I might still have the NES hidden somewhere in a box. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
but I can still play the game on the emulator lah. So that's not too bad. I still have those memories, and I can revisit those memories.
Yeah. All right. So I guess the consensus is that we all enjoyed Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem, and we feel that it's a movie worth watching. So if you already like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, you should go watch the animated movie in the theaters right now. And if you don't really like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but you like animated movies anyway, I also recommend you go because of the animation style and the voice acting and the whole production is generally quite the dynamic. I should feel it's visually attractive as well. So that's I think our general consensus. Am I right?
Yes.
Yes.
Maybe a lot coming
Yeah.
from you because you're not as much of a fan like as we are. So to hear it coming
No.
from you, very touch.
So it's a more balanced, neutral kind of uh, stamp of approval. Yeah.
All right, thanks for joining me today, Marcus and Leo. Just hang on for a while I say a few things to the audience, and
Okay.
then I'll bring you back in, and we can say goodbye to everyone together. Right. And for those who have joined us so far, thank you for watching and interacting with us. Jet was asking a very interesting question to Marcus just now. And for those who are not able to join us just now, this live stream will still be available on my Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter as well. So you can watch it at your leisure. And for the next coming live stream, I'm trying to plan something for Halloween. I haven't got to the point where I invited guests yet, so I can't say very much about that. But if I am able to gather some interesting guests together for a Halloween version of Live with Red Dot Diva, I will be announcing that as soon as these are confirmed. So keep a lookout on announcements on my social media. Mostly they will be on my Facebook, Twitter. No, now it's called X. I'm still not used to calling it X. Facebook, X, and YouTube. And I'm actually also on Threads. So if you see me on Threads, some announcements will be there as well. And if you have any interesting guests which you would like me to feature in future live with Red Dot Diva live streams, you can drop me a message as well. And I'm going to bring the two of them back on screen before we say goodbye to everyone. Thank you for the time taken, Marcus and Leo. That was a very fun movie review session.
Thanks for having
Uh,
us.
yeah, and thanks for everyone watching. Till the next time. Bye.
Okay,
Okay,
bye
bye.
everyone. Good night.